what do you do when one of you is ready to go and the other one's just ready to go to bed?
Been there, done that. But trust us, it's not the end of your love life.
Well, this is Jim, patient, optimistic, and a guy who never gave up hope even during the drought.
And this is Tab. She's the reason I show up every day.
Oh.
And she's also the reason that sometimes I want to hide behind the wine rack.
And together, we're Unretired
Unretired AF.
AF. Hello, and welcome to today's episode, When One of You Wants It More. Basically, the first part we're going to talk about is libido after menopause. Nobody talks about it, and it's a real thing that happens, and we should talk about it. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. So when you go through menopause, obviously women, their hormones shift, and post-menopause can affect a lot of things, including your desire for sex, your mood, and also sometimes for some women, your comfort level. So,
Yeah, men can interpret it as not being loved.
yeah, that's
But
sad.
when you really talk to your spouse and find out what's going on, it's, man, I'm glad I'm not a woman. It's tough.
It is tough. And, when, and probably all women aren't going through that. So I'm speaking to the women who are, just to know you're not alone. It's not about not loving your partner, and you need to let your partner know that it's not a rejection of your partner at all.
Yeah, and when that happens, neither of us, them, whomever, is broken.
Right.
It's
There's nothing
just,
wrong with you
no,
wanting that, and there's nothing wrong with me not wanting that. It's
right.
just where we are at the time. I mean,
But
I,
communication, you have to communicate about it. You've
exactly.
got to know what's going on.
Exactly, because I certainly didn't stop loving you when
Right.
we were going through that. Although I'm sure it felt like it at
It
times,
did. It
and
absolutely did.
and I think that it's good that we did talk about
Yeah.
it so that you knew that, and I guess for me, I have I mentally had that desire. I wanted to. We always had a very active sex life
Yeah.
before menopause, and so it wasn't that, that it's not that I didn't want it. It's just there were just some things I didn't understand
Right.
about it, what was going on with my body at the time.
Right. Right.
So so the next thing we're going to talk about is, for us, how weight loss has changed everything and helped us turn the corner.
Sure. I know for both of us, it's it's given us more confidence.
Absolutely.
I've always been, as Tav has been, always been very confident people.
Yeah.
But when you're carrying extra weight, it just works on you. It does me anyway, and I'm pretty good at being able to block stuff out. But that's one of the things that's tough to block out. It's
Yeah.
tough, especially when you can feel it in your bones.
Right.
When you
Right.
can feel it.
Right.
So yeah,
Well, exactly. And I think that it it becomes like you become like, for women anyway, you become like the frog in the pot, where you it just it you're thrown in the pot, which the pot we'll call menopause,
right,
and then the temperature gets turned on, and you don't realize how how bad it is, like how much you're, as I know for me, it wasn't just libido, it was other things. I started withdrawing from people, and I just wanted to be left alone. I wanted to be a hermit. Um,
hot flashes, couldn't control the temperature in the house.
I mean, there was some of that, not as much as most of my friends, but there was some of that.
Yeah,
And but I think for me, I just tried to focus on emotional readiness, like to be responsive, so that wasn't always like a rejection. And I think that losing the weight, because Jim and I, if you haven't been following our channel, we've just recently done the HCG diet for 40 days. I lost 25 pounds, and Jim's lost
42.
42 pounds. And honestly, that's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And it has definitely helped me with my emotional readiness.
Sure.
I feel better, and I think that's good.
Well, both of us have more energy now, a lot less brain fog,
Right, right,
um,
right. I
and the
agree.
desire to try to do stuff and get things done,
Right.
which I can say that's been a long time coming
It
since the pandemic. It's
that's
been tough.
that's exactly
It's been
right.
very tough.
That's exactly right. And I mean, I feel more comfortable in my skin now.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important if you're a woman and you're going through that, and if you're a man and your wife or your significant other is going through it, just understand that when she says not tonight, it doesn't mean, or it doesn't necessarily mean she doesn't want to be with you. It can just mean she's tired, because menopause does cause that. And I know
Yeah.
with the weight loss, and menopause causes weight gain.
Right.
So a lot of women do gain weight. With the weight loss, I feel a lot less tired. But I know those were kind of the things when I would say, like, not tonight, it was because I felt exhausted, or I felt self conscious
Yeah.
with my body, or I felt just mentally stuck, where I just couldn't. I felt like I was focusing on things that I couldn't, like, compartmentalize and switch the channel over to be
Yeah.
more, into more sensual channel. So
And as being on the other side of that, it's very tough because you ask, what can I do to help, and
right.
nothing, and it's just it's hard. If you don't know what's going on,
Right.
you'd swear it was rejection, but
Right. And nobody talks about it.
no, no,
I mean, my mother never told me that this was going to come up.
right. It's
Um,
just something you really got to push through because there is an end.
right.
There definitely will be an end.
Well, and you have to understand it isn't intentional. That there's not
Right.
intentional meanness or rejection or
Yeah.
unloving.
Yeah.
It's just part of it. At least it was for me. It probably isn't for everyone. Everyone's going to experience it differently, but that's how it was for me. And I know when I talk to some of my friends, they've experienced it the same way.
Yeah.
Well, now we want to talk about how we rebuilt intimacy for us. And before, we were very spontaneous about our sex life.
Yeah.
It would be pretty much, I mean, one of us, usually you, would initiate,
Yeah.
and that's how it would go. It would be very spontaneous.
Now we found that planning our intimacy works for us.
Yeah.
It gives you something to look forward to. It gives time to prepare.
Right.
It for us, it just works a lot better.
Well, and it's good for me, and it's worked really great for me because um, it does give me time to mentally prepare so that I can, like, consciously change the channel
Yeah.
when I know that that's what's happening, and that we've scheduled it. And it might sound really, I mean, it sounded weird to us at first too, to schedule it, but honestly, it has worked a treat for our relationship, in the sense that, we both have we have expectations,
Right.
and we know what the expectations are.
Right. So for me personally, it's created, reassurance, if you want to use that,
Yeah.
with no guesswork,
Right.
and or really any disappointment.
Right.
And
Right.
it's working great for us. Working
Yes.
great for us.
Yes. And so I guess the next thing we want to talk about is that you have to talk.
Yeah.
You must
It's a
talk.
must.
You must talk to your partner, because when you're silent on the subject, it just creates resentment. I know we had some of that in the beginning, because I mean, I was honestly, I've already shared a little bit about my hormone replacement therapy story, and just trying to get some help with that. And it's I didn't have the vocabulary to know how to talk to Jim about what was going on with me, so I was silent, and I'm sure that created some resentments for you.
It did, and we have found, and again, we're only speaking from our perspective here.
Right, right,
Um, Communication for us is equal love and a lot more understanding. I get
right,
what's going on now.
right.
I can honestly say at first I didn't. I mean, like everybody, you've heard about what it does, but I had never been with anybody that it was going through it actively. And yeah, I hope I never have to again.
Well, and we're kind of bearing our souls to you guys in this
Yeah,
episode. This is a very personal episode,
yeah,
but we know that we can't be the only ones
right,
that have experienced this as a couple.
right.
And I didn't find anything really available
No,
that really talked about it. But I think one of the most important things to understand is it's not about Jim trying to fix me. It's about him trying to understand. So, if you're feeling impatient with your wife or your girlfriend, pushing her isn't going to help.
no,
And I'm not saying that you pushed me, but I think that there's that tendency to try to fix it. What can I
sure,
do
sure,
and you might try some of the things that worked in the past,
right.
and they don't necessarily work at this time. So
No, they don't. No, they don't. But I
yeah,
will say that that we've always, with both of us, we love to laugh,
yeah,
and we have used humor to help us get through it.
yeah.
None of it's a negotiation.
No, that won't work. And we are negotiators for a living. It's what we
Right,
do. But
right.
this is not a negotiation that can happen.
No,
It's
no.
it's in
So
that sense.
if you haven't picked up anything out of all of this, communication is the key.
Right.
You got to know what each other is thinking. And, as a man, you got to have some leeway. I mean, she still loves you, you still love her, but you just got to work through it.
Yeah.
You just got to work through it.
And be patient,
Yeah,
and be patient and I don't think it's I mean, I think don't be looking elsewhere.
right. Yeah, don't look elsewhere.
Did you just yawn?
I did. I'm sorry.
Don't be
I'm sorry.
and I guess the next thing we want to talk about is that nobody wins the scorecard game. This is not something you want to keep score with the relationship. That can be really harmful. I mean,
Yeah,
the initiator shouldn't feel rejected, and if anything, you need to, reassure your spouse that they're, that you're not rejecting them,
right.
that you're just going through something, and you would love their help to get through to the other side.
Yeah, and the one that's less in the mood shouldn't feel broken
Right,
at all.
right.
But
Because you do feel like that at
you,
times.
I'm sure, but you got to give encouragement.
Yeah,
You just have to give encouragement.
yeah,
So
yeah. Well,
it's been tough.
yeah.
It's been tough,
So
but we've worked through it.
that's we have,
Yeah,
and we can say we're on the other side of it.
I can definitely say that. Yep.
What would you say is your takeaway from this episode?
Well, that sex looks a lot different at 60 than it did even at 50.
Right. No, you're exactly right.
Um, Menopause for women is real. It's real.
Yeah.
And men need to have patience and
Well, and men
understanding.
have hormonal changes too.
Well, sure.
When
I
they're
mean,
when they're as they age, they're going through different hormone changes, and
absolutely. Every
like,
man's testosterone drops. I
well, and I
mean,
think one thing that I think a lot of men are looking at, and they think that it's what women want, is like, I know when Jim and I'm going to get real personal here. When we first got together, I mean, sometimes we would go for hours. And and it doesn't have to be like that as we get older. It it
no,
is it is quality over quantity at this age. Wouldn't you say? I mean, it's still
no.
as satisfying.
Quantity's pretty good too sometimes too, though.
But you know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
I
It's
do.
like we don't have to. we don't
Right.
have to compare ourselves to our
No.
younger selves.
No, God, no.
Because that's just unrealistic.
Right.
And it's a different connection and deeper connection.
Yeah.
So anyway, and what matters most is being loved.
Right.
That's
On both sides.
that's the main thing about it, is being
Yeah.
loved.
So, if you have any stories you can tell, or comments, or really whatever, we have a comment section. Please add a comment. I can assure you we will answer you.
Yes.
We appreciate everybody that does comment, and we really appreciate you guys for coming on our channel. If there's something else you want to talk about, or you want us to talk about, or you have a favorite topic, let us know.
Yes.
We'd love to do whatever our audience wants.
Yeah, agreed. And if you're enjoying our channel, we encourage you to subscribe. We put a new episode out every day, Monday through Friday. And as Jim said, if you have a specific topic that you'd like to hear about, let us know in the comments. I mean, we're open. We're a new channel. We're just trying to make our way.
Yeah.
There's a lot to learn, and we're
to
learning every day. And so we encourage you to subscribe, join our tribe. We're working on it's in the process now of getting a Facebook group together.
Yep.
where we can come together as a community and share our stories
Yeah.
and tips about all things related to being unretired AF.
Right.
Because we're not slowing down.
And neither should you.
And together we're unretired AF.